Lesson 4.2, Solving for x. The process of solving an equation is like solving a puzzle. X represents a specific number, and that can be any number. So we don't know what that number is, and we have to find it. The equation is like our clues that we have to follow in order to find out what x equals. In order to do this, we have to undo anything that has been done to x. So undoing means we do the opposite or inverse operation. So if we see x plus 5, this means 5 has been added to x, and the opposite operation is to subtract. If we see x minus 10, this means that 10 has been subtracted from x, and the opposite operation is addition. If we see 3x, this means 3 times x. So the opposite operation is division. And if we see x over 4, don't think of that as a fraction. This means x has been divided by 4. So a fraction bar also equals division, and the opposite operation is multiplication. When we solve an equation, we have to do these opposite operations, and we do them in the opposite order as the order of operations. So whereas in the order of operations we multiply or divide first, when we're undoing, we add or subtract first. Okay, so first we're going to start with single step equations. These are equations that can be solved by performing one step. So for example, if I have x plus 5 equals 15, I identify the operation to be undone, in this case addition, and then I perform the opposite operation. Now I have to be sure to do this to both sides of the equations because I have to keep everything balanced. If I subtract here, I have to subtract here too. And that will leave me with x equals 15 minus 6 is 9. Okay, here are some more examples. Here, x minus 12, so the operation is subtraction, so the opposite operation is addition. So I add 12 to both sides, and I get that x is equal to 15. Here I have 5x equals 45. This is multiplication, so I divide both sides by 5, and I end up with x is equal to 9. Here I have x divided by 6 equals 9. And so I am going to multiply by 6. And the reason I do this is because these two 6's will cancel, and I'm left with x is equal to 54. Now this next equation, I have 2/3 x. This is 2/3 times x. So my opposite operation would be division, but because this is a fraction, this is a little different. So I can solve this in two different ways. In method 1, I take my 2/3 x and I multiply both sides by the reciprocal of the fraction. And the reason I do this is because when we divide by a fraction, so 2/3 divided by 2/3, we multiply by the reciprocal. These will cancel out, and I'm left with x is equal to 8 times 3/2. 2 goes into 8 4 times, and 4 times 3 is 12. Now method 2, if you don't like working with fractions, and some people don't, is to multiply both sides by the denominator first. And the 3's will cancel, and I'm left with 2x is equal to 24. Then I divide by 2, and I get x equals 12. So as you can see, both result in the same answer, so you can use either method you prefer. And this is how you solve a single step equation. Identify the operation that's there and do the opposite one.